Knight. Don't force me to eject you from the chamber. Eject you from the chamber. Very good, Dark Knight. Since you insist on dressing like a flying rat, I thought I'd put those abilities to the test. The only mammal capable of flight. Since all you do is glide, you're actually a variety of squirrel. Contrary to popular belief, very few bats survive on blood. Most species subsist on insects, whereas you prefer to live off undeserved praise. Creatures known to prey on bats include hawks, owls, some spiders, falcons, and, oh yes, of course, me. It must feel wonderful, Detective, floating majestically over a city filled with your minute inferiors. Much like being me. Work. Shaped memory fibers, some sort of collapsible harness, an arrogant insistence that the laws of gravity do not apply to you. You remind me of another plucky young man, like strapping on a pair of wings. What was his name? Oh yes, that's right. Icarus. It's a classical reference, you uncultured brute. Now, there's no shame in being stuck. The shame lies in thinking you could beat me in the first place. Admit it, Batman. I am unbeatable. What's it like to be unable to figure out an intellectual challenge, Batman? Truly, I'd like to know. Not yet. It's far too much fun watching you try. You got there eventually, Detective, making you literally as capable as the digit-flapping mammal you pointlessly pretend to be. Your next key awaits you. Key?
I can't leave. Catwoman needs my help choosing a key.
More cabinets. Great. I love this part.
Riddle me this. What has a cape, a cowl, and can't be trusted not to get you killed? Come on, detective! Detect!
Okay. Time to possibly maybe die. Well, this is not how I wanted to spend my night.
Another key collected. I trust you're not giving her false hope, Detective.
Oh good, more fun.
Well, Dark Knight Detective, you have passed another test. I cannot help but admire the spirit with which you have thrown yourself into a task for which you are woefully under-equipped. I almost feel guilty when I contemplate what's coming, but not so guilty that I'm going to call it off. Head back to the orphanage, Detective. Another of my riddle rooms is waiting.
I'm going back to the orphanage. Celine is waiting.
I can only imagine what cruel game Mr. Nigma has in store for you and Ms. Kyle.
It doesn't take much to tame a cat.
How are you doing?
Can't fault the entertainment. Eddie just lectured me on the 13 innovations that let him pack this collar with his custom-designed plastic explosive.
You must be honored.
At being what? Your motivation? Come on, the next puzzle room is waiting.
Greetings to my costumed contestants. Your next challenge is simple. Guide an electric charge to its destination. I hope the varying amounts of pressure don't get to you.
Another one? What's Eddie's problem?
Pathetic narcissism, egocentrism, and megalomania, crossed with severe obsessive compulsion.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Counterweights move further when I step on the pad.
You are getting older. Maybe it's time to add a few extra notches to the utility belt. Hey, don't shove. Move over, would you?
Congratulations to the dementedly dressed duo. Your key awaits. Oh, but what's this? An electrified floor?
You do it. You still owe me for Arkham City.
Goodness, you figured it out already. Well, you better grab that key and be on your way.
Hey, that was easy. Oh, it's a trick, isn't it?
Meet the second generation of my android allies. I've built a variant specifically tailored to each of your dubious abilities.
Leave the blue ones to me!
All the danger of battle combined with all the fun of riddle solving. You can thank me after.
That's mine, Batman.
There's more where that came from, Batman. I've built a highly efficient production line. You know what, Detective? I'm glad you solved this riddle. Because it takes you one step closer to the riddle that kills you.
Eddie really hates you, doesn't he?
He's an ego-driven narcissist who can't let anyone else win.
Gee, if only you'd met under different circumstances.
His obsession's getting worse. He's going after my allies.
Ally. After this, I think we should dial it back to known associate for a while.
This was nothing, Dark Knight, nothing. A new trial awaits you, Detective, by Divinity Church, and I'm waiting too.
I'm headed to Divinity Church. Riddler won't give up, Alfred. His pride won't let him.
You'll break his spirit, sir. I've every confidence.
I grew up here, you know. It's nice to be home. Gun runners, plant people, riddle-obsessed crazies, flying demon things, bodies nailed to the frickin' wall, and now cults? I wanna go home. Batman! He's got a friggin' tank! Oh god, get us out of here!
The unexamined life is not worth living, Detective, and I've been wondering why I let you aggravate me so. You're a cheat and a liar. A dressed-up strongman playing with expensive toys. World's greatest detective, ha! And everyone from Detective, a dilettante masquerading amongst his intellectual betters, stealing every last scrap of appreciation, dignity, and respect. Welcome, Detective, to the drain I'm going to figuratively and quite possibly literally flush you down. The goal of this aquatic examination could not be simpler, Detective. Lower the water like so. Before that, however, it's time for a riddle. Riddle me this, Detective. What do bats do when they're at home? detective, or those blades will open up the car like a tin can. You being the expired hunk of stale meat inside. Don't leave me hanging, detective. The answer is right above your nose. Above your nose. Detective, do you have a death wish? Is it merely incompetence at carrying out said inclination that has kept you alive so long? Careful, detective, or those blades will open up the car like a tin can. You being the expired hunk of stale meat inside.
Riddle me this. What's dead? You!
Welcome, detective, to the drain I'm going to figuratively and quite possibly literally flush you down. The goal of this aquatic examination could not be simpler, detective. Lower the water like so. Before that, however, it's time for a riddle. Riddle me this, detective. What do bats do when they're at home?
I can't give an order without choosing a target first.
Don't leave me hanging, detective. The answer is right above your nose. Above your nose.